Hey everyone, how's it going?
Happy Tuesday. We are Jen
I'm Joe.
and Jen Buys 585. We come live every Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern to just chat a little bit about some seller stories, people that we've helped this week or even in the past, and we just love being able to share different ways that we've been able to help people out.
Right. I mean, I was actually just at a house just an hour ago, rushing home, make sure I'm here on time for you guys.
I'm like,
And for us.
hello.
I had half an hour to spare, so I wasn't rushing too badly, but I wanted to make sure I was here on time. But we're in a situation right now where we bought a house and we want to clean out the garage because there's a lot of stuff in that garage, but we can't put a dumpster in the driveway because there's a 1970 something van and a 1981 Buick. I think it was a Phoenix. I never even heard of that. Pontiac, I think is what it was. I'm so
Okay.
sorry. But either way, we're trying to figure out how to get those out of the driveway because there's no title, there's no keys. So just helping somebody out who doesn't want to have to deal with that. So
Yeah, that's a huge burden to
Yeah.
not have to just walk away and not have to worry about getting these vehicles. Do they even run at this
no,
point?
they don't run. And that's the thing is when we say as is, I mean it. And the best relief for the seller, as I said, do you have the keys or title? She's like, I don't have any of it. I said, no problem. I got it handled.
Yep.
And when you're in that situation, that's the best news you could hear is don't worry about it. I got it handled and let somebody else deal with the nightmare. And I get to deal with that. So I'm on it today, but we got good news.
Yeah, that's the thing is when you're in the business, you have enough contacts, you can definitely get things rolling, and he loves this. To
I
him,
enjoy
it's
it.
not a nightmare. I mean,
No.
but to somebody who has 5 million other things going on, it could be. And that's kind of the topic we're going to chat about today is if and when you find yourself in a situation where it's become too much. And I know from experience sometimes that I can bite off more than I can chew. And sometimes it takes a lot of discipline to know when to push pause and to ask for help. And that's really what we're here for because, you know, helping people, this is what a real estate business is. It's not just about a house or a car or anything else left inside, but it's about helping the people that own these houses. And we've got a couple stories that we wanted to share that, you know, they're contractors or investors or even just everyday people that, you know, they've bought a property or two and
Or inherited it.
yeah, and it's too much. And we want to kind of back it up a little bit and share. I think we'll share the one in Canandaigua.
Yeah, so I actually had a situation where a contractor who does this for a living wanted to buy a house. He was going to flip it, had all these ideas of making all this great money. And the problem in his situation was he lived in Churchville. And if you're not familiar with what all this is, it's about a good 45 to an hour drive one way each way. So once you're a contractor and you're swinging that hammer for a living, after hours, you want to go relax. You want to go take a load off. You don't want to drive an hour to go
Yeah.
work on your other project house. Plus, he was a new father and had a lot of other things going on.
And that's like the big problem, I think, just to cut you off real quick, is like the free time, right? The elusive free time that we all think that we have.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes you don't realize it until you're in the situation and you're kind of drowning. We're like, oh my gosh, like I can't do it all. And that's okay. And that's where we could come in and help.
Well, in his situation, when he reached out, I asked, how long have you owned the house for? He said, about a year and a half. I said, well, what have you done to it since you've owned it? He says, really, I just brought a whole bunch of supplies over there and tore it apart but didn't do anything else. And now was getting citations from the town for long grass. He was behind on the taxes. And now, lo and behold, what we found out is we closed that deal on a Monday. And we had to rush the paperwork to the town and county to file it because if not, it was going to the tax auction on Thursday and he was about to lose the whole property.
So yeah, if it goes to the tax auction, then
You're in trouble.
Game over.
Yeah, so in that situation, it worked out great for him because we put a check in his pocket. He got a great price for his house, and biggest thing was he got that burden off his back and didn't worry about having to lose the house. We paid the back water bill. We paid all the fines for the long grass. We made the house beautiful. When he got to walk away and know that it got done right, and he has no more worries about it too. And I think that's one of the best things when you're dealing with this situation is knowing that whatever you're going through, it's going to be over, and it's going to be over quickly. We closed that deal in 30 days. So I don't even think it was 30 days. I think it was actually a little quicker than that because we had to move it along because of the tax sale. So Once again, it's about helping people. And there's a situation there where, a young father with having the town fining him and having everything else going on in his life and then trying to deal with this nightmare, it was just a lot for him. So he's happy he reached out. We are too, because we now made a new friend.
And it doesn't mean that he can't get one in the future. You know, it's like if you have these dreams and you want to, you know, own a house or have some rentals, that's awesome. And yet, you know, maybe you got too many at once. And we're finding that can be a case too, especially with the pandemic happening. You know, things have changed quite a bit. You know, if you had deals going through in like January, February, and then March hit, you know, things look a lot different now. And
we have that happening actually right now.
Yeah.
I'm working with an investor. He has 6 properties, and he had these ideas of doing all the work himself and getting it all done in a timely fashion. He just says we're way too behind right now, and he's like, I need to unload a couple of these. So I'm actually been looking at these houses ourselves. Maybe we could pick up a couple of them ourselves, which would be awesome. So just going over the details of that. Although one is a 1-bedroom house, and
Really?
it's like a 500 square foot 1-bedroom house. So that might be a challenge, because usually when they get to be too small, they get to be hard. But
is it in the city or is it in?
it's in Irondequoit.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in Irondequoit. Actually, believe it or not, the same neighborhood I grew up in.
Oh my gosh.
So, but that's what's kind of neat is I love working with the sellers.
Yeah.
I like working with them directly. And right now, just so you guys know, we're doing the $1,000 referral bonus this summer, which means, and we just paid one, and the same person we just paid the $1,000 to just brought us another referral. But if
Yeah.
you bring us a referral, you know somebody who wants to sell their house. It could be for sale by owner, or maybe they haven't even listed it yet. We don't want to deal with the realtors. We love realtors, but we
Yeah.
like to deal with the seller directly.
Off
And
market.
generally we can put a lot more money in their pocket too, because they're not having to worry about paying commissions, and we even pay your closing costs. So with us paying your closing costs, making it quick and easy, and there's no fees and there's no commissions to us, that's why sellers love working with us. And a realtor, they're not going to pay your closing costs. They're not going to buy your house. They're going to try to sell it, and that could take some time. Plus, the closing process takes time. Work quick and easy. And
Plus, if you're going to list it, there's, you know, usually a list of things you're going to have to do to get it ready. And I keep trying to share as much as possible here on this page because, you know, taking the Henrietta house that we just closed on, it didn't need a lot if you have a crew of people to come in and do it for you. But if you're living in there and yet you're supposed to be packing and moving to out of state and you've got everything else going on, then it can be overwhelming. And so that's where we keep it stress-free, painless, easy, you know, all of those keywords there, and let us take care of that because, you know,
well, and that's the point too. If you work with the realtors, a lot of times they're going to want you to fix this, paint this, do all this work to the house
Yeah.
just to be able to list it. Where instead you could work directly with us and sell it as is, literally with cars in the driveway,
Yep.
Stuff
Plus,
left in the house.
if
It
you're
doesn't
living
matter.
there and you've got little kids, I mean, I just heard so many friends like how frustrating that is to try to keep it show ready and you're still living there. So, you know, if it's a time crunch, definitely hit us up because we are notorious here to make things happen super fast for you.
Well, and the thing is this too, is because some of these are small projects, some of these are big projects,
Yeah.
and I love hopping on them. So I love getting to work. Like I've had dreams of this new kitchen that we're going to do on one of the new houses that we're buying, just because we're going to do a full rehab to the house.
My area.
Well, that's hers. But I had dreams about it.
You can dream.
I had dreams about what we're going to do, but she gets to pick. She's got the final say.
We're gonna do it together. It's gonna be so much fun because it's a cool layout. It's gonna be like a little bit of a challenge. I'm excited.
But once again, with that $1,000 referral bonus, it doesn't get any easier than that. They had a friend who had a house they inherited, and they were basically dealing with a lot and didn't want to. And so they put us two in touch. It was so easy. We made a deal within, probably a week, and the lawyers are waiting to close everything, and they're doing all the paperwork now. And it's super simple. And I told her what her biggest thing was: take what you want, take what's valuable,
Yeah.
and then anything you don't want, leave it behind. Don't worry about bringing, because she told me they already did 3 dumpsters. They've already taken out, and there's 3 more at least in the house.
I can't even imagine.
And I said, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal.
Not
Just
stressing that.
Just leave it. So that's one of the benefits too.
So yeah, with the $1,000 referral, like that's huge. And even if you're like on the fence, like, oh, I don't know if you guys would buy it, send it our way because I'll even send you a little thank you and grab yourself a coffee or something because I just love that people are willing to work with us like that. And I've got several people that hey, I saw this for sale by owner, and I just PayPal them a little cash there for them, and if it turns into a big deal, then yeah, if we buy it, you get the $1,000. So it's really no loss to you.
So we have friends right now who are literally driving for dollars, what they call it. They drive around back neighborhoods. They're looking for long grass, maybe a for sale by owner sign.
Yep.
Maybe they know somebody who was
A vacant property.
Unfortunately, there's things like divorce and death where if you know that happening and somebody wants to sell their house, It's just word of mouth. And no matter what, even if we buy the house or don't buy the house, we want to make sure that we leave as friends with those folks. So we always put our best foot forward to make sure they know the process. We keep it very well spelled out. If you go to Jen Buys 585 on Facebook, you'll see testimonials of folks that we've already bought houses from who say the same thing. It was quick, easy, and one of you said it's free money. So
Yeah, I know.
I love
I've got
that.
a poster still.
Okay, well, we got a great video coming up too, because she loved it. But that's the case. So with that $1,000 referral bonus, that goes directly to you, whoever refers it to us, and we do it at closing. So once again, our closings don't take months. They usually take about 30 days. Once we close, you got a check coming, and the more checks you get, the merrier. So keep them coming. It could be just sharing a post. It could be talking to a neighbor or friends, but it's just word of mouth is really what's growing.
Yeah, you'd be surprised, guys. If just tagging somebody below, like, oh yeah, weren't you guys chatting about this? And tag the person or send them a message or whatever it is. You know, it's just, it takes zero effort at this point, but you could walk away with $1,000.
Well, and now, after they got their check, they're like, wait a second. I know 2 of other houses that are for sale right now, and I just got a text message.
It's the blue car theory. I love, like, whatever that whole, you know, it's like once you kind of put it out there and start looking for it, it'll start popping out to you more often. And you just never know. Like I said, if maybe even yourself, you bought a house that you were going to rent out one day, and it's really just become a liability at this point, and it's not making you any money yet, or maybe you have a rental property and you're just not loving the landlord life.
Or the tenants aren't paying rent anymore.
I know.
We've got a
right
lot of
now,
them reaching out to us.
There's a lot of that going on. So
we have a lot of landlords who are reaching out to us right now saying, my tenant's not paying rent. Well, we've got ways to help for that too.
Yeah.
So if you have a house that your tenant's not paying rent, and it's a situation where now it's a negative, super negative in your life because you're probably making your mortgage payment plus theirs because they're not paying you any rent, and they're living there scot-free.
Because you're still responsible for the taxes and insurance.
And if you have a mortgage against the house, that too.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're not getting any supplement checks or any type of stimulus checks for that. So if that's the case and you're going through that right now, reach out to us. It's a free, no obligation quote, but at least we could give you a quote on what we could buy your house for. And if that's the case and you love what we're saying, which we try to make a deal every time, then at that point, it's 30 days to closing and get ready to offload that house and don't worry about it anymore. So
yeah, but we've got some big goals here, guys. So we're looking for houses. So if you know of any, at all, anywhere.
We want to buy 5 houses a month. We really want to buy 10 houses a month, but we have to start somewhere. And right now we're averaging 1 to 2.
Yep.
We want to up that to 5, and it's going to be by paying you guys that $1,000. It's by coming out here every week, talk about what we do.
Everybody wins, right?
Everybody wins. And if you do real estate right, I said this every time, it should win for everybody. It should work out well for everybody. So we'll plan on seeing you guys next week. Do we have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that was it. Just wanted to come on and share a couple of those stories and paint those pictures and help as many people as possible.
If you have a house that you want to sell, send us a message. It'll be totally private. We don't have to share with anybody here what's going on. If you just want to get a quote, send us a message. We can give you that quote. But once again, Jen Buys 585 on Facebook, on Instagram, same thing, .com. Give you a little bit more information about us, what we do. See a lot of good referrals, and we love you guys. Stay tuned in next week. We will see you next Tuesday, 1 o'clock as usual, and talk about all the great things that we're doing. So we'll plan on seeing you guys then.
Yeah.
All right.
See you
See you
next week,
guys.
guys.